God can use me anytime, Lord, anytime. I'm your love soul. God can use me anytime, Lord, anytime.
The call to worship. Just take a moment and be still and be grateful. Grateful to be here in the presence and into the power that is called God. And just being here proves the point that with God all things are possible. That you are the thinker, you think the thoughts, that you make the things in your life. All possibility lies within you. We come to this place with hope for better things yet to come. And we just become still, we become open, and we become receptive. And we say to the universe, feed us. And so it is. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you happy to be here?
Yes.
I am. Last night I was watching some of the television stations in Buffalo, and they had little captions underneath. This church, no service today. That church, no service today. And I said, service at Verity this morning. And we are here. Give yourself a hand for making it. So let's stand as we sing from the song sheet, I Have Decided.
I have decided to live the crisis. I have decided to live the promise. I have decided to live the promise. No turning back, no turning back. The past behind me, the Christ before me. The past behind me, the Christ before me. The past behind me, the Christ before me. No turning back, no turning back. I'm living here now, I'm living well now. I'm living well now, I'm living well now. I'm living health now, I'm living wealth now. No turning back, no turning back. I'm being happy, I'm being fulfilled. I'm being happy, I'm being fulfilled. I'm being happy, I'm being fulfilled. That turning back. Let's start from the top again, from the top. I have decided to live the promise. I have decided to live the promise. I have decided to live the promise. No turning back. The last verse. I'm being happy, I'm being fulfilled.
I'm being happy, I'm being fulfilled. I'm being happy, I'm being fulfilled. No turning back, no turning back. And because this is such a wonderful day, we're going to sing Happy Am I. Isn't that fantastic? Yes. Are you happy? Yes. All right, let's sing it. Gusto now.
1, 2, 3, 4. Happy
am I'm rich, I'm happy. You can walk around and say hi.
Happy am I'm rich, I'm happy. Happy am I'm rich today. Oh, happy am I.
He had the white cable in. That's the one going to the basement for streaming.
Happy are you? Happy are you?
See?
You're rich, you're happy. Happy are you? You're rich today. Happy are you? You're rich, you're happy. Happy are you? You're rich today.
Oh, happy are you? Oh, happy are you? Oh, happy are you? We are rich, we are happy. Happy are we are rich today. Happy are we are rich, we are happy. How you doing, man? Good. How was your drive-in?
Oh, happy are we? We're rich today. From the top. Happy am I'm rich, I'm happy. Happy am I'm rich today. Happy am I'm rich, I'm happy. Happy am I'm rich today. Oh, happy am I. Oh, happy am I. Oh, happy am I. I'm rich today. Happy are you?
Happy are you, you're rich, you're happy. Happy are you, you're rich today. Happy are you, you're rich, you're happy. Happy are you, you're rich today. Oh, happy are you, Chantal. Oh, Chantal, you're rich today. We'll be seated.
Good morning. Good morning. And welcome. We are Verity Centre for Better Living, a new thought teaching ministry, a member of the Universal Foundation for Better Living. It is a pleasure having you who are here today and all of you who are streaming join us this morning. Namaskar. If you are visiting with us for the first time, will you please stand? I tried. Let us refer to the bulletin for the opening affirmation. I will say it first, and then we will take it together. Through an inner call from Spirit, I awake to the truth of my being. I am is the co-creator in my life. As I work on reshaping my consciousness, I think new thoughts and have different experiences. Together, please.
Through an inner from Spirit, I awake to the truth of my being.
I am is the co-creator in my life. As I work on reshaping my consciousness, I think new thoughts and have different experiences. Please turn to the page after the center page of the Daily Inspiration publication, and we will read the first 3 beliefs together. Okay, together please. We believe that there is God's will that every individual on the face of this earth should live a healthy, happy, and prosperous life. We believe that such a life is within the reach of each one of us, and the way to its attainment begins with the realization that the kingdom of God is within us, waiting for us to bring it into expression. We believe that we can bring this kingdom forth by practicing the universal spiritual principles handed down through the ages and taught by our way sure, Jesus Christ. We will now have a musical selection by the Voices of Praise.
see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow.
They'll learn much more than I'll ever know.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The
Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people walking by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you.
I hear babies cry, I watch them grow.
They'll learn much more than I'll ever know.
And I think to myself,
What a wonderful world.
Who could sing?
Thank you, Voices of Praise. Today's inspirational reading is found on page 29 and will be read by Sienna Murray of the Sunday School.
Good morning.
Good morning.
God's unfailing love. It is not a happy feeling to think that no one cares. Happily, this is not the truth, because God cares for each one of us always, as if we were an only child. I am determined to realize that I am important to God and that God loves and cares for me no matter what. When I turn within and become open and receptive to God's love, I feel a strong, sustaining power that lifts me up and places me in the mainstream of life. I have faith in God's unfailing love for me. I relax, let go, and let God's loving presence fill my mind and heart to overflowing. I am released from all anxious thoughts and feelings about my life and affairs. I yield all my challenges, fears, worries, and cares to God and watch all that concerns me work out for my highest good. I trust in God and let God do God's perfect work in, as, and through me. And the scriptural text is taken from 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7, King James Version, and it says, God casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. And so it is.
Thank you, Sienna. Please listen to the reminders. Sunday lessons, the Dream series continues. Classes continue Mondays, Be Ye Transformed, and Thursdays, Principles of Healing. This Friday, January 25th, is a family and fun food evening at 6:30 p.m. for $10. On Saturday, January 26th, seminar with light lunch, Life is for Living, is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The cost is $30. And on Sunday, the lesson with Reverend Alberta Ware, We Can Live Again. Concert featuring Jay Douglas and Friends is 2:30 p.m. for $30. It also comes with soup, salad, and a sandwich for the cost of $40. You can receive the entire package for $70. Please call the center to let us know if you will be attending. This ends the reminders. Ushers, will you please let the people in? We will now prepare for a moment into the silence.
It is so wonderful when you have experienced the absolute good that surrounds you, surrounds me, surrounds us. When we keep looking for that presence which is everywhere, and that ability to do, to move, in spite of what may appear before us. It's good to know that within us holds the key to our experiences. That the outer is a reflection of that inner state we call consciousness. It is so wonderful to know that even in times when hardship appears to be, just by shifting your mind to the idea that wherever you are, perfection, wholeness, completeness, all of God is here. And to see the clouds of doom and destruction vanish before you. This is our power. The power to transform our experiences by just making a shift back to the original state of being, which is absolute good. Knowing that wherever you go in the universe, there's only one state. That's the state of absolute good. When you realize this, you can stop and say to the seeming mountains, depart from my presence. From the low points of valleys, and say, be ye lifted up. Because there are no valleys and no mountains. It's all my perception of God. And because I have come to know that God, wherever I am, does not change, I change my mind and experience the fullness of God. So in this moment, I invite you to make a shift, to realize It is your thinking that creates in your life the experiences that will come. That what you think about manifest in your world, in your life, in your affairs. Make the shift. Just accept that you are now in the presence of all that is good. And begin to appreciate it. Let the dark clouds fall away. No more complaining. No more sadness. Put a smile on your face and begin to enjoy your new experiences to come. Just let go of what you have brought to this moment. Just let them go. Let the thoughts, let the emotions that you brought to this moment, just let them go for a moment. And realize that there is nothing but God. Absolute goodness. All the fight, all the confusion is happening in my mind. And I have the power to say, get thee behind me, all that is unlike the nature of God. Just say to the wind, stand still. The wind of confusion, stand still. For you really do not exist. In reality, the wind is God. The seeming confusion is all God that I have labeled. Just label it absolute good. And experience a calming that takes place. Just let go. Feel that calmness that takes place. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to be anxious about. Everything that happens is absolute good. Create it, express it, and experience it. And just relax. And I shall dwell in the house of goodness forever and ever, if I keep my mind stayed on goodness. Keep your mind stayed on goodness. Let the breath of the Almighty pass through you freely. Let the ideas of the Almighty pass through you freely. Let what God has for you, let the will of absolute good be in your presence. Relax and just enjoy. Enjoy the peace. Just enjoy the freedom, the lightness that joy brings. Feel your body being transformed from this tense mass of flesh to a free-flowing instrument of the divine. Fear not, little flock, It is your Father's good pleasure to enjoy the kingdom. Enjoy the kingdom. Be grateful. Peace be unto you. And so it is.
The thought for the week is by Evan. Let us read it together. Together, please. Stop looking backwards. All you need is before you. We will now have a musical selection by the Voices of Praise.
Faith, yeah, yeah. I can climb a mountain, said I can reach my goal. I'm more than a conqueror, way down in my soul.
The devil is a liar.
You know I've won this race, said I've got victory. All because I have got faith. I can do the impossible. I can see the invisible.
Because I got faith.
We all need faith. She's only 13. She's got a lot of faith.
I can do the impossible. I can see the invisible. Because I got faith.
Cause I know I got faith. Yeah, yeah. Alright, let's take it down a little bit. I can climb a mountain, said I can reach my goal. I'm more than a conqueror, way down in my soul. Sing it, Gigi.
The devil is a liar.
I've won this race, said I've got victory, all because I have got faith.
I can do the impossible.
I can see the invisible because I got faith. I can do the impossible. I can see the invisible because I got faith. I know I got faith. Yeah, yeah. Say yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Can I can? Oh, I can. And if I want it, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Can I can? Oh, I can. And if I want it, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Can I can? Oh, I can. And if I want it, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Can I can? Oh, I can. And if I want it, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Can I can? Oh, I can. And if I want it, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Can I can? Oh, I can. And if I want it, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Can I can? Oh, I can. And if I want it, yes, one more time. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Can I can? Oh, I can. And if I want it, because I know I got faith. Yeah, yeah. Woo. Thank you.
Thank you, Gigi. Thank you, Shemaray. The title of today's lesson is Seeing Beyond, and it will be given by the Reverend Evan Reed. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
Good morning again. To understand the universe, we have to understand ourselves. For the way we work or operate is the same way the universe works and operates. From my perspective, the whole journey in life is to come to know yourself. Yourself being that infinite idea of God in you that is perfect, whole, complete, that is pure potentiality and operates on possibility. When I look at the Hebrew scriptures, it's the birth of an idea. The spreading of that idea, the expansion of that idea. And the Hebrew scriptures provide us with techniques how to apply one principle and one principle only. In the beginning, God, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This love that we're talking about is not an emotional position. It means to focus intellectually and consciously on the one presence. Thou shalt have no other God before me. No other presence but absolute goodness should be in our mind. And then from there we should love our neighbor. That means every other expression of life. Because every other expression of life is an aspect of God. It's all God. And as ideas in God, we all have the ability to use God to design and experience the type of future we want. Every individual has within her and him the power to look beyond circumstances, situations, conditions, people and things, and see in mind some picture that does not exist yet and make it exist. Every one of us has been born and bred for expansion, for growth, for movement, to go beyond where we are now, where we were, and realize that we can go even further than where we are mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, relationally, socially, vocationally. This is the miracle of humankind. Not to allow anything to get in the path of one's growth, of one's development. This is what we are about. Even physically, we start off just as one cell, multiply and multiplied and became, look at you now. And whatever is happening physically should be happening intellectually. When I was a child, I perceived as a child, and I did childish things. When I became a teenager, I did teenage things. When I became a young adult, I did the same thing. And look at me now. Still wanting to do the things that I did at childhood. I still want to go back. And to some of us, going back means remembering the good, old days. Life is the idea in divine mind of movement, activity. Anything that is not moving is dead, crystallizes, of no use. Anything that is grounded in the past, fundamentalism, stops the creative process that is alive in all of us. If you're hankering to experience something that you experienced before, that's emotion. It is emotion that got us in this mess. It is portrayed in the story of Adam and Eve. Eve was supposed to be a helpmate to Adam. Forget the gender. This is not gender. This is the intellect and the emotional. We are metaphysicians. We're not dealing with gender. Adam was not a man and Eve was not a woman. But in the Bible, it is written that way. So don't get your head twisted up. We're dealing about the intellectual phase of mind that stands between the superconscious God mind and the subconscious, the womb of your experiences. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the writers of Genesis telling us, be careful to allow the emotional side of your being to lead you into decisions. Because the emotional side operates through feelings. It looks good. It tastes good. That's why you start the diet today and you can't get rid of the old patterns tomorrow. When we are driven by the emotion, we cannot see anything in the distant. We only see with our eyes, with our ears, we hear, with the taste of the mouth, the touch of the hands. We are supposed to move past the emotion and allow the intellect to work with spirit. So it can dream dreams. In the Bible it says, Old Testament it says, and your young men shall dream dreams, and your old men shall have visions. Meaning what? Once you have life, you can dream. And every dream that you dream is an idea that is meant to be manifest. All right? You know how I know this is true? I have gone through some experiences in my life, and I've had to train myself to realize, don't look for problems. Always in your mind, believe that all things are possible and answers come. Don't feel badly. Feel happy when the seeming bad comes. It means you got to get going to move. Once you have life, seeming hardships will come for you to prove that you could climb over the hardship and experience yourself as a victor, not as a victim. This is why Spirit has allowed you to use faith. The first movement of faith in the Bible that we can talk about is Abraham. His father left Mesopotamia and went to upstate Syria called Haran, looking for something for prosperity. And when he got a little bit, he decided to stay there. He got grounded. He became attached. And he died there. But in his son, Abraham, that same idea existed, and something in him says, you can't stay here in Haran. You got to move. And he traveled through Canaan, and he came to Egypt. And it says when he left Egypt, he left with more than he came. And he kept going and going and going. Faith allows us to perceive an idea. When we have a desire to fill an empty void in our lives, something happens. When in all your suffering, something happens. One day, your mind wakes up to the possibility that you don't need to be here. You could be in a better place. That has happened to me. I don't come here and teach based on what in books. I teach from what my experiences have been. I keep reminding myself, yea, though I pass through the valley of near death, I have life. I could lift myself up. Just one idea. All you need is one egg to start a whole chicken farm. One egg. One seed to start an entire forest. All you need is one root, well placed, to provide life for a big oak tree. All you need. You are never in a dying state unless you decide to die. You are never in a starving state except you intend to starve. Because wherever you are, there's a little trigger in you that says, I can't take this mess anymore. I need to get up. This is portrayed through Moses. Hello now. The children of Israel representing your thoughts that are confused and lost are in a state when you feel you're being controlled by others. Have you ever been there? Have you ever felt that people are controlling your life? Hello now. And you feel all is lost? Have you ever been in a relationship that you believe what? You can't get out? A job that you believe, if I give up this job, my life is ended? Hello, now talk to me. Let's talk. Come on. Get close to me. Don't run away from me. I'm your friend. Have you been in a situation where there is no hope but despair? Have you ever felt you are in the center of a ring of fire and you can't get out? Hello now. It's all happening where? In your mind. And if it's happening in your mind, you can change it by believing that you can change it. Simple. According to your belief, it will be done unto you. Helena? You don't live life outside of you. You experience life outside of you. But you live in your mind. You create in your mind, and then the experiences of what you have created in your mind, you will express on the outside of you, both beginning with your body. Hebrews 11:1 says what? Faith is the substance of the idea of things that you hope for. I could come down, right? Sometimes when I'm up there, I feel, well, you're a holy boy. Come down. Helena, have you ever felt alone? Helena, and there is no hope? This is the end. I cannot stand it anymore. Have you ever talked to me? Yes. Let me get closer. I want to be with you this morning. Have you ever felt desperate, frustrated? And then a little birdie, you're passing somewhere, and as you're driving, going to kill yourself, you look to the right, and you see something that you read on a billboard, and hope comes up. Hello now. Abraham had reached the point where he was desperately seeking to serve God, and he decided to do what? Offer up his son Isaac. And he took the bundle of wood, the knife, the fire up to the mountain. Hello now. Hello? He laid his son on the slabs of wood, and he took the knife to plunge. And a voice in him said, just turn to the right, and there's a lamb there. Use the ram instead. Have you ever been in a situation where you're desperate and an idea comes from out of the blue? Don't do it. Here it is. Because the only thing around you is God. God had all the ideas. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God. And it's the Word that becomes manifest in your life. Manifestation means I have received what I am looking for, both mentally and physically. And I can be satisfied. That's your power. But sometimes you need to suffer to come to know that you have the ability not to suffer. And this is what I'm saying. Everything about the universe is with you. You and the universe is one. The way the universe works, you work. You work the same way as the universe works. Because you create. In the beginning, God said, let. Go ahead. Let what? He just said, let there be. And whatever God said, let there be, became. All you need, you don't need no more light. But whatever you have need of, you just have to say what? Let there be. That's your creative power. Let there be. Stop saying, don't let there be. Say, let there be. Use the affirmative all the time. Don't use any negative when you're saying, let there be in my life. And don't go for what you can't stand and that kind of stuff. Just let there be. See the possibility and hope for the possibility, and decide that the possibility that you see is for me. That's what faith does. Seeing beyond. Jesus in the New Testament says, if you have as much faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say to the mountain what? The mountain represents what? A seeming impasse. You could remove that. Paul says in Corinthians 2, we walk not by sight, but by faith. These eyes are only lenses that allow us to see by attracting the light forms that go to the mind, and it's the mind that sees. These eyes are only lenses. It's the mind, the internal, that sees and can change. Paul says, all action first happens by what the mind sees. What is your mind seeing? Doom and gloom? Impossibility? Trouble? Harassment? Victimization? Is your mind seeing that? Because if your mind is seeing that, what's going to happen? That's what you will get. Because whatever your mind sees, it manifests. That's faith. We walk by faith, not by the eyes. We are led by faith. Your life right now came about through faith. If you don't like it, that was faith used wrongly. One of the first things that you have to always carry with you is wherever I am, the only thing that is there is absolute good. If I am not experiencing absolute good, I have created in mind that which is not absolute good. As metaphysicians, we are mentalists. We believe that the mind holds the key to the physical experiences that we have. So to change the seeming physical experiences that we have to do what? Work with mind. And the first movement is mind, is faith. If you could perceive it, you can have it. If you cannot see it, you cannot have it. So when you look down the road in this realm of infinite possibility and potentiality, what are you seeing? That's the key. What are you seeing when you look down the road of your life, which is pure good? What are you seeing? If you're not seeing pure good, you're nuts, you're crazy. Something is wrong. When God created you and everything around, he pronounced it, or she pronounced it to be what? Absolute good. You see, the factor is, who has educated you to bring you to this point? Who do you believe you are? We don't realize that the early education that we have had, how important a role it has played. Where we grew up in the family unit, what they believed about themselves, about others, about God, and the power they had. And these thought patterns rest upon us for 10 generations because we take them to our children. And their children take it to their children. Hello now? Just by your words and your actions, your little children believe they have no hope from the time they're 2 years old. Life can't be better. Because they're being told that by you. They've seen it in your life. Woe unto me. I could never get out of debt. They believe they can't get out of debt before they even know what debt is. I was meant to suffer. These little children don't know what suffer, but they believe they can't. They have to suffer. Hello now. And then you send them to church. And the church tells them, you were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. Hello now. But the Old Testament says what? That when God created all of us, God breathed itself in us and we became living souls. In the Old Testament, there's no banishment to hell. That's theology made up in the minds of men and women who believe they have a right to distort your mind. So most of us go to church, and two words we hear that resonate all through the veins and nerves of our body: hell and the devil gonna get you. When you believe that as a little child you're going to Sunday school and you're afraid to come home because you know you stole the sugar. Because you believe you're going to hell. I don't know. And you've read and you went to school and you got educated and they conditioned you until you begin to form political ideology, believing that this is right and that is wrong. We are thems, you are something else. Them and us. Division. And on the holidays they get you to march. National pride. The nation that I was born in is better than any other nation. Raise your hand up. We forget that wherever we are, all we are spiritual beings, given the possibility to create the life that we want and to move and grow. To move and grow. God said to Abraham, whatever you bless, to be blessed means to prosper, to enrich. Whatever you enrich will enrich you. And whatever you curse or condemn and criticize will do the same thing in your life. We are meant to be blessings, and wherever we go to bless. That's what hope and faith does. It blesses because it only sees a preferred future. It does not see gloom and doom. It sees a preferred future. Doom and gloom come out of a mind that is separated from God. You see, we believe there's God and the devil. That's separation. As soon as you start believing there's a power outside of God, that's the devil, you are now dealing with duality. And as soon as you go down the rabbit hole of duality, you're going to operate out of fear. I can't do this because. But God said, I give you the freedom to do and to be. Hello now. But you now make up in your mind, I can't do this and I can't do that. So you could never experience the fullness of yourself because in your mind you have limitations. So a limited mind can only go to a certain place and stop. But an unlimited thinking mind can go to the four corners of the universe and experience the fullness of itself. That's what we were meant to do. In God there is no gender, no race, no color, any difference. Because we are all what? One in spirit. I am one in the spirit. I am one in the Lord. And I know that all unity will one day be restored. And I know. So that's when you have an accomplished musician. Give Richard a hand, man. Richard Whiteman. Give him a hand. What I am saying, that you have not reached the height of your expression. Realize that everything comes in your life as a gift to you to receive the other gifts that the universe has. It may appear as a problem, but if your mind is set on problems, you're stuck. But if your mind is stuck on opportunity, that every moment provides me with an opportunity, every person that comes to me is an opportunity, every situation, every occasion, they are just opportunities provided for me to grow. Hello now? Hello? So I could never get stuck because I dwell in the realm of all potentiality. No problems. Why would God create me and tell me go forth and then put barriers for me to go forth and only give me 2 legs? No jet engine or propeller to climb. He said, I give you everything that you have need of. A brain to hold stuff. I have given you a mind to think. I've given you a physical body to climb, to swim, if you want to. It's all up to you. But everything that every other human being has done, you can do. As I said, the only thing stopping you are the limits that you have placed on yourself. Stop comparing yourself with others. That's a big one. Stop asking people where they are going if you could go with them. You go alone. Where you are going, no one can ever go. You're like the starship. Your journey is to discover realms that no one else can, because the realms are within you. God placed all the realms of itself in you. You are to travel the fullness of your being and discover the wonderful power that God is and that you are. This is your life we're talking about. When the people ask you who you are, don't say I'm a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor. Tell them I'm a spiritual being in the process of becoming. I am a spiritual being. Being a teacher is only a little respite right now, but I am more than a teacher because this is helping me to be a Richard Whiteman music type of musician. I don't know. And Richard is thinking, I want to be the best speaker in the world like heaven.
Yes.
I know you have a little jealousy in your there, but it's okay. But you understand what I mean? Don't settle for what you think you have become, because becoming is ongoing. That's what faith is to help us do. Keep becoming, and there's no limit to your becoming. No limit. The little pain in your body is to help you to discover some kind of remedy that nobody else has done before. Or to discover some type of exercise that you could do that you could help other people with. Whatever is going on in your life is an opportunity for you to climb out of the cage of limitation that you have built for yourself. Wherever you are, stop putting a sad face to complain. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for so happened to the prophets of old. Every human being who wants to find out more of God has to experience some type of suffering. But it's not suffering in a bad way. To suffer means to allow. To allow God to express fully through you. This is our role, man. Faith is the first movement of the spiritual qualities to take place. But faith could be very whimsical. Because sometimes when faith attaches itself to the emotion, it sees this, it wants that. It sees... No, it has to do what? Be steady. It takes just one idea to build a life on. One idea builds a life. And that's one idea will take you as far as you can go. One idea. You shouldn't be idea shopping. The same thing in the Eaton Center is at Yorkville or Yorkdale. The price might be different. Same manufacturers supplying the same goods. Because wherever you are, God is. You know, you don't have to move from where you are to be happy. I read, when I began this journey in the 70s, I read a little piece of advice given me from some Hindu text. If you cannot find God good where you are, you could never find it. Because wherever you are, good is. If you can't find it here, stop sometimes and go into that mountain place, that high place of consciousness, and pause and let ideas flow. Just open your mind and don't tell God what to do. Don't tell God what you want. God gave you a Hyundai. You telling God you want Lexus. Good night. Bye-bye. No. Except the Lord builds the house, you labor in vain. All this running around and still not gaining what you want. Why not stand still and see the salvation that God will bring about in this moment? When you have a desire, become still. And through the power of faith, perceive the idea that will become the Savior in your life. With hope. Hope for it. Hope wakes up the other disciples. Imagination and love and wisdom to help you shape and form the idea, and then to make the decision through will. This is what I will in my life. Let there be light in my life. Light means understanding. All these other words that are used in the let there be, it means that you are developing the sense of creation, that you have the power to create all that you have need of. But again, it's a wonderful book we are doing, Christian Healing. And the first thing Phil Morse says, it's a science. It is organized. It is not whimsical. It's a procedure that you have to walk in order to accomplish what you need. Let faith be the first movement to see beyond your current experiences and go for it. God bless.
and I won't turn back, because I have the love of my Christ today. I've got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, because I have the love of my Christ today. Your turn. I've got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, because I have the love of my Christ today. I've got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, because I have the love of my Christ today. Goodbye fear, I stay no longer with you. Goodbye doubt, I stay no longer with you. I made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. I made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. Your turn. Goodbye fear, I stay no longer with you. Goodbye doubt, I stay no longer with you. I made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. I made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. You say, thank you, God, thank God, I thank you, God. Let me hear you say, thank you, God, thank God, I thank you, God. Let me hear you say, thank you, God, thank God, I thank you, God. Thank you, God, thank God, I thank you, God. I've got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, because I have the love of my Christ today. I've got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, because I have the love of my Christ today. You say this, Lord, your name's so sweet. Yes, your name is so sweet. Lord, your name's so sweet. Yes, your name's so sweet. Lord, your name's so sweet. Yes, your name is so sweet. Lord, your name's so sweet. Yes, your name. One more time. I've got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, because I have the love of my Christ today. I've got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, because I have the love of my Christ today.
There's a statement in Psalm 23 and 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Who are my enemies? What are my enemies? Doubt, fear, worry. These are my enemies. My enemies are internal thoughts and dispositions that I hold to be true. So even in the presence of these internal, all where I go is a table of goodness. And wherever you are, your head is anointed with oil. You should be at peace, and your abundance shall overflow. Is that wonderful to know? If you could see it, you could have it, and you could experience it. There's a substance from which all things are made. It's turned into money. It's turned into everything if you believe in prosperity. That wherever you are being fulfilled. That you can give and grease the pump so that more will flow. Giving tithes and offerings is a method that we say as metaphysicians that help the universe to pour more into you. So freely you have received, now freely give. So let's take our envelope or however you choose to give. Put in the left hand and just cover with the right. And just say with me, Father, I thank you for all that I have received. I have now made a decision. By seeing more coming onto me, I release some of what I have received, so it could return unto me, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. And let us sing, God is so good.
God is so good. God is so good. God's so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God's so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God's so good to me. God is so good. Yes, God is so good. God is so good. God's so good.
One more time, come on.
God is so good. Yes, God is so good. God is so good. God is so
Father, we thank you so much for these gifts. And so it is. Now, in the back of the bulletin, look, as I said to you all, for those who have been streaming, we want to say thank you very much for this time you have spent with us. We hope you will join with us next week again. God bless you. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you wherever you go from this moment. Remember that God is, and God is absolute good. Go in peace, and so it is. And for those of you who are here, remember this is our anniversary weekend. We have a Friday night occasion where we come together as a family. We have a seminar on Saturday. Come and discover the aspects of your life, how to move forward from where you are. Come and be a part of Alberta Ware's presentation, and then stay for the concert of J. Douglas and friends, including Richard Whiteman and members of the Verity Centre, Voices of Praise. And there's also a wonderful comedian, and it's going to be good. It starts at 2:30. For those of you who are coming and staying after church, there's a light lunch provided. You know we've announced it. So if you want tickets, you can phone in. We will reserve the tickets and you pay at the door when you come. Okay? You don't have to give cash today. Give it on Sunday when you come. You can give the cash or you do however you want to pay on Saturday for the workshop. And I think they usually you all collect something on this Friday night, right? When they all come. So God bless you all. I did the closing prayer already. What you're waiting for. God bless you. Have a wonderful week.